I've written a letter to Daddy. His address is heaven above.
Greetings from Castle Goring, from Mickey, Aurora, and from me. Without further ado, I am going to plunge right in because I have a busy, busy day ahead of me. And even though Aurora loves to get love and kisses and give me love and kisses, I am going to have to ignore her in a second. So I'm going to plunge right in with Susan Fritscher says, "Hello, Lady C. I always enjoy your commentary. Thank you very much." The delusional bloke said he would love to live in Japan if they will have him. He didn't mention the mattress TV actress. Is he giving hidden messages? I didn't know that Meghan used to promote mattresses. I had no idea. Or maybe she acted in... Oh, yes, of course. She was in Suits, wasn't she? Yeah, it was heavily mattressed, wasn't it? Yes. So, says I, being deliberately opaque. Well, yes, interesting observation. May I say, I think we can safely assume that what public figures say when they're playing their jocular roles isn't necessarily a total reflection on the sentiments that they actually truly possess. And Harry was at his most jocular, like somebody let out of prison. Did you notice? Eyes beaming, smiling. "Oh, hello, lovely press. I love you so much. Oh, hello, lovely people. Let's be a demagogue and rouse you up." Loving every minute of it. Loving the attention that she makes sure she gets when they're together. But putting that aside, yes, he did say him. I thought he was just trying to be charming, but I think there was possibly a little slip of the lip. I know that they're going to great pains to tell everybody that there's nothing wrong with the marriage, everything is fine, they're perfectly happy together. Well, of course, I believe that pigs fly, and they do, especially when they have Californian interests in mind. Well, putting all of that aside, the mouth did slip. Do you remember the way his mouth slipped when he was introducing Archie to the world? And he said that Archie had changed an awful lot in the previous 2 weeks, and therefore he couldn't decide who the child looked like. Not that Archie had changed an awful lot in the 2 days before his claimed date of birth. People's mouths do have a way of slipping, don't they? And it was a deflection of rumours, not only in terms of, "Oh, look, we are here, we are shopping for our wives," says Nacho Figueras. You can depend on it, that was done with Harry's approval. All of this is meant to refute the rumours that Harry and Meghan's marriage is in trouble. As Harry and Meghan embark upon separate paths professionally, which, if you recall, I said some months ago they were going to be doing, because I have friends in California and they are the ones who told me what the William Morris Endeavour game plan was. And also, the more successful Meghan becomes on her own, is the more valuable a commodity she becomes. So Harry, as the French would say. So, you know, also, Harry made one or two deliberate points. He told the crowd, I've been involved in many charities for most of my life, and I get a huge amount of fulfillment giving back to as many people as possible. My life is charity, always has been, always will be. He was saying this in connection with the International Sports Promotion Society and the polo match. But think about it for a second. Archewell got $13 million in donations. They donated $3 million, leaving nearly $10 million in their bank account. Harry really does believe, as Meghan does, charity starts at home, and sometimes it's best that it ends at home as well. As for the we're so happy couple, while Harry is Singaporing it and Japanning it, Meghan is making announcements in California that she's been to see Barbie and that she's also been to Taylor Swift with her good friend Lucy Fraser, but not a photograph of her taken. I was away for a very short period of time, as some of you might realize, over the weekend and into early this week. Actually, it was early this week. I left at the end of the weekend. But anyway, there are loads of people who took photographs of me. And I'm not as famous as Meghan or Harry. I make that point for what it's worth. How come not even one little tickety-boo photograph of Meghan taken anywhere? Do you understand why some people are saying she didn't go to the Taylor Swift concert at all? And if she went, it shows how shameless and unembarrassable she is. Because not only did Taylor Swift turn her down, but Taylor Swift has been receiving all and sundry for the 5 days of her concerts backstage, but not Meghan. So is Meghan now so desperate for publicity that she is going to allege that she has attended a concert given by Taylor Swift in the full knowledge of the fact that Taylor Swift wouldn't condescend to receive her? I mean, you have to wonder, are we dealing with really unsavory, quite frankly, ill-bred people who have no idea of how to behave and no idea of the consequences of their behavior or of the messages they're giving? I mean, Harry actually, I have to say, I thought behaved rather well. I don't believe a word he's saying, but that's not the point. The point is his breeding shows. Meghan's lack of breeding shows. No reflection against her father who did his best as a single parent to bring her up, because she went to the best schools, and if she didn't learn it at home, she would have learnt it at school. And the fact she's not learnt it at all tells you that she cannot be educated. Susan King says, Lady C, what is your opinion on the illegal migrant crisis? Do you think we should leave the ECHR, or do you think it will not make any difference? Because the English courts will block the flights to Rwanda anyway. Do you have any idea of how to solve what is a huge problem for the whole of Europe and America? I love your videos and have never missed one. Thank you very much, Susan King, for that. Well, for those of you who don't know, the ECHR is the European Commission's human rights body, and we signed up to follow them, and we need to get out of it. We need to have human rights assured, not via the European Union statutes, but via our own statutes. And this goes beyond this migrant crisis, by the way. However, insofar as the migrant crisis is concerned, people are leaving France, which is a first world country, having smuggled themselves into Europe, and because of the Schengen Agreement, which to those of you who don't know, the Schengen Agreement allows free access between all of the contracting states on the continent of Europe and that are a part of the European Union. So there's free movement throughout the European Union. So if you access it through the tail end in the south, you can end up in the north and nobody can stop you. However, we, the British, were never a part of the Schengen Agreement, and therefore we have always had our own sealed borders. Now, what do all of these economic migrants do? And I am, by the way, not sneering at migrants. I come from an emigre family on my father's side. My father's family had to leave Lebanon at the turn of the last century because they were a prominent Christian family, and they had been the Tsar's representatives in Schweifert, which was the center of orthodoxy in the Middle East. And after the loss of the Crimean War by Russia, Turkey woke up, I should say the Ottoman Empire, woke up to the fact that the Christians in the Ottoman Empire were a huge fifth column, and they put the screws in on all of the Christians, even those who up until then had never had a problem, including my family. We were fleeing from persecution, but whether you're fleeing from persecution or not, how can it be possibly justified that immigrants into the European Union wish to emigrate from France, which is a first world state with first world amenities, into the United Kingdom? Why? Because we are cushier. We give them houses. The French don't. The French aren't that dumb. Now, I am not saying that I'm anti-immigrant, because I'm certainly not. I'm not even anti-migrant or economic migrants. What I am anti is illegal immigration. And we need to do something about it. Because I'll tell you what happens as well. You have all of these economic migrants, in quotes, who come over, or some of them claim to be fleeing from persecution, and it turns out they're only fleeing really because it's in their own interest to flee. And I mean, there are some pretty dodgy things that go on as well, I've got to tell you, with murderers and apists with an R in front of it, who end up here and on the dole and being given houses, while the British are not given the same rights and privileges. And we can't afford it. We, as a nation, cannot afford to be flooded by these immigrants, many of whom never work. We need controlled migration, and we need migrants to respect the law. And we need migrants who will come in and make a contribution to our society. There are loads of jobs that need to be filled in this country. And they're not being filled because the immigration problem means that legal migrants are not allowed to enter because their space is taken up by illegal migrants. I mean, the whole thing is unbelievably dreadful. Then you have the idiots who are bleeding hearts, who think, oh, these poor people. I mean, they've stopped flights of convicted criminals. They've stopped flights of murderers to Jamaica, who were going to be deported back to Jamaica, who have then spun around and killed again. And sorry, my sympathies lie with those who wish to be constructive and productive, not with those who wish to be destructive and leeches. There are many more sociological and economic aspects to this, which I'm not going to get into now, but I can tell you, we need to pass laws in this country that prevent certain bleeding heart judges as well from stymieing Parliament's right to pass laws. Now, as for sending the illegal immigrants to Rwanda, Denmark does it, and there's not a problem. They're put up in 5-star accommodation. Denmark does it. Nobody hears anybody criticizing Denmark. You know, it's one thing to have a heart, and it's another to have such an open mind that your brains spill out into the street. Miss Classics says, Dear Lady C, if Hairplug were to put his titles into abeyance once divorce proceedings commence, would that be time enough to keep the titles out of Methane's reach after divorce? Miss Classics, there's a very short answer. It's a 3-letter word beginning with Y. And I am delighted to tell you the answer is yes. Until Harry and Meghan are divorced, she assumes his rank. He loses his rank. She loses her titles that went along with that rank. I will use a small example. In 1917, Prince Louis of Battenberg was demoted from a Prince of Battenberg to the Marquis of Milford Haven. His wife was Princess Victoria of Hesse. She was the Empress Alexandra's sister and Queen Victoria's granddaughter. She ended up being the Marchioness of Milford Haven. She couldn't and didn't call herself Princess Victoria of Hesse, Marchioness of Milford Haven, nor could she or did she call herself Princess Louis of Battenberg. He had ceased to be, and she ceased along with him. Hope that answers the question. Fife says, maybe Meghan plans to be the star in the movie they plan on producing. It's the only way she can be in a movie. Not a bad idea. Oh, can you just imagine? Megsy baby, the star of Keep Me From the Lavatory or Swimming in the Bowl or Meet Me at the John. Oh, sorry, it's Meet Me at the Lake. Can you imagine Megsy playing the heroine? 30-something-year-old Megsy baby. Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. And I'm going to accept that Oscar on my behalf, whether I'm nominated or not. I wouldn't put anything past them. And it's not such a bad idea. It actually is a very good idea. And I am happy to share it on your behalf with everyone. And who knows, maybe it will even reach the ears of Netflix. And they might decide to cast Megsy baby. Oh. And I hope they're going to be nice scenes the way they were between her and that Adams boy in Suits, you know, where she would straddle him with those thighs and rub herself against him. And, you know, they'd sort of do a tango with their tongues. I think we might even have a nude scene, after all. Megs is very beautiful, and there's nothing undignified about a royal duchess who's now a movie star of the highest caliber, being nude and showing the world what a fabulous body she has. Not a chance. No, it's fabulous. C. Mallard says, apparently Netflix paid for the book rights for the movie. It'll be interesting to see what role H&M will have. Could be Netflix figuring a way out of their 40 million plus owed to them. Well, let me tell you how these things work. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. All these contracts are staggered on signature, delivery, publication, performance. You know, the BS merchants, the publicists, the Harrys and Meghans, of this world, they say, we've signed up for 130 million when they might have signed up for 10. It's all rubbish. It's all to inflate the product and make it appear to be more desirable than it is. But yes, Netflix is trying to find a way of retrieving its investment so far. And it's being very resourceful because it understands, you see, that it's dealing with the consummate businesswoman and that Meghan will have no compunction about doing what it takes to try to achieve success. Of course, these efforts usually end up in failure, but it doesn't alter the fact that she's willing to give it a shot. And there's nothing unusual about a film production company, as I've said before, putting up the money for a book. It's done all the time. Very seldom will a star put up the money for a book. Now, whether Netflix has put it up or Archibald has put it up, and it does appear as if Netflix has put it up, you can depend on it. There is no way that author, Carly Fortune, has been given $3 million. Not in this life or the next. They can say it till they're blue in the face. I can smell a lie a mile off. And this one, I can smell across the Atlantic. It's such a big lie. Natural Skeptic says, Lady C, a Gallup poll in the US confirms that Prince William has been crowned America's favorite public figure. Your thoughts on this subject would be much appreciated. Natural Skeptic, I like your name. I'm a natural skeptic too. You need to be careful what you believe. You need to keep an open mind, and you mustn't be cynical, but you equally mustn't be a dupe. Well, it's very interesting because William has proven that there is a possibility, even in the United States of America, of the public being unified and in agreement with regards to a public figure. Because both the Democrats and the Republicans have the same view of William. They don't have such a good view of their president, present or past. Because both Trump and Biden were in the lower minus figures. Jill Biden just scraped in as a plus, while Prince William was right up there. Now, Harry and Meghan don't even feature at all in any of this, which is just as well, because really, if Biden and Trump are 199 points minus, I think Harry and Meghan would have been 258. You know, it's that people recognize the virtue of an apolitical figure who is interested in the welfare of humanity, the welfare of the world, and is prepared to do it without getting nasty and grubby with party politics. Meghan and Harry have made the mistake of grubbing themselves up from the word go, because Meghan is the consummate opportunist. And Meghan thought she's so clever, she's going to align herself with the Democrats and she's going to get right in there, and all of a sudden everybody's going to be clamoring, oh, please, Megsy, baby, make yourself our president. I mean, talk about seriously delusional. Can you imagine all those people in America begging her, please, Megsy, I need you to be my president. Oh. I think we need the pig flying again. Because really, this is pigs flying time. Yet, this is her ambition. This is her desire. Big mistake she's made. Had Harry and Meghan gone about things nicely, they would now be riding higher and higher and higher ad infinitum, instead of which they're sinking lower and lower and lower ad nauseum. Chiara Grace says, hello, Lady C. Thank you for always sharing the truth and your honest opinion on various matters. Thank you, my dear. I have a question. In my country, Italy, many magazines and even national papers are publishing articles about Meghan running for the presidency with the Democratic Party in the USA, or talking about her upcoming political career. Her PR team is rarely making an effort even outside the UK or USA. What's your opinion on the matter? Is there any chance for her? Best regards from Italy. Best regards to you too, my dear. I love your country. I think we need to bear one thing in mind. All media publications require content. Because they require content, they are going to go with what they regard as newsworthy. Whether they agree with it or not is beside the point. That, I think, is a very important factor to bear in mind when considering the reports you read about Meghan's political ambitions. Yes, her PR people have been planting stories to give her gravitas, but they are doing it far less now, and she's doing it far more. So it's no longer a sunshine Sachs scenario, but it is still a Democratic Party supporting group of people who are instructed on her behalf and are therefore bigging her up. But they're not bigging her up for political office. They are bigging her up for commercial gain. But they understand that the more gravitas she has is the more hopefully, potentially desirable she will be financially to people that they wish to pitch her to. Let's put it that way. I am assured by people in the Democratic Party who are at a very senior level or closely connected to people at a very senior level that the Democrats don't regard Meghan as a serious contender for anything except mockery. That's right, mockery. They think she is a joke. They think she is dangerous. They think she is unpredictable. They think she is uncontrollable and unmanageable. And they think she has loyalty only to herself, not to the party. That's what I have been told. Senior politicians in the United States of America have expressed to friends of mine about Meghan Markle as a serious political contender. In other words, she's not a serious political contender at all. But what does it do? She's got a good name. Well, she's got a well-known name. It's not a good name. It's a well-known name. She's got a well-known name. So she will be, she will be newsworthy no matter what. But as a serious contender for office, not a chance. And I'm going to use an example. Today, later on, Kamala Harris is going to be hosting an event at Martha's Vineyard for grassroots fundraisers. It's titled A Grassroots Reception, and it will be hosted by a group of prominent Democrats. I should say Democratic fundraisers, including Wendell Pierce, the actor who played Meghan's father in Suits. Tickets start at $50 and they go up to $10,000. Now, Martha's Vineyard is very chic. It's where some of the Kennedys hang out. It's where Barack Obama and his wife Michelle have a house. Loads of people have houses there. I think Carly Simon, the singer, has a house there. Lots of well-known people have houses there. Many of them are Democratic Party supporters. Not all, but many. Well, nobody was going to read the story that said, Wendell Pierce supports Kamala Harris in fundraiser for the Democratic Party in Martha's Vineyard. People would have said, who's Wendell Pierce? But they say, Meghan Markle's father in Suits, and everybody, oh, you see the recognition bell rings. And then, with a bit of luck, or so they hope, people will just forget it's Wendell Pierce and they're going to think it's Meghan Markle. And she's going to be happy, and they're going to be happy, because there are a whole load of idiots who still think Meghan Markle is somebody worthy of desirability. Lady Elaine Fairchild says, the reason someone like Meghan befriends a yoga studio owner is to get the tip when celebrities show up incognito for Pilates, so she can stalk them and happen, in quotes, to show up when they do and befriend them. Lady Elaine Fairchild. It wouldn't have occurred to me. But once you've pointed out that pearl of wisdom, I will happily include it in my necklace of knowledge, because I'm sure you're right. That is how operators operate. You know, they only ever like people who can do something for them. And my goodness, don't they cover you with dross? Oh, sorry, not dross, just my mouth slipped. I spoke the truth, I meant with love and attention. Oh, I'm so sweet. Don't take my word for it. Ask all my friends, especially the 5 ones who I set up to tell lies about Daddy to People magazine when I wrote that letter to Daddy. Yes, I did. I'm so clever. Yes, I am. And nobody's ever going to find me out because I'm just so clever. And yes, that yoga girl, she still hasn't found me out, has she? She still thinks I like her for herself. And I dare say I do by now. She's been so loyal and useful. And she posts nice things about me all the time. What am I to do but be appreciative of the friendship that she gives me? I'm not transactional at all. No, not at all. I would never befriend somebody just because of what I can get out of them. Never. However, when it comes time to dumping daddies, well, I'm happy to dump them when they're no longer of use to me. How many daddies do I have now? Let's see. At least one. Mary Rabley says, Dear Lady C, I so enjoy your lovely channel. Thank you. My question is about the flatulent rumour the flying pigs have expelled and are floating about California. The odour suggests that Nutmeg has eyes for Justin Trudeau and would challenge daddy-in-law for the head of state of the crown jewel of the Commonwealth. Is this possible? Mary Rabley, I think you underestimate Meghan's ambitions. Justin Trudeau doesn't have enough money. Justin Trudeau is not going to be Prime Minister of Canada for much longer. Meghan's got all the mileage out of him that she can get. And she didn't even get that much because, remember, Dirty Justin didn't fight her corner when the Parliament and his MPs said, we can't be supporting those leeches anymore. No more security. I don't think for a second Meghan has any interest in being the wife of Justin Trudeau or any other former Prime Minister, former leader. I think she wants a present and future leader or a billionaire. Justin Trudeau doesn't have what it takes. Sorry. S.K. Hefner says, Dear Lady C, if George V can remove princely titles with a signature, can Charles II not do the same? Not that he would do so, but it is within his authority, isn't it? I keep reading, Harry was born a prince, that cannot be removed, etc. But was not Alistair born a prince as well? Yes. Alistair was born Prince Alistair of Connaught, and at the stroke of a pen, he was deprived of his princely rank. Because his mother was the Duchess of Fife in her own right, non-royal dukedom by the way, he became the Earl of Macduff. Otherwise, he would have had to accede to one of his... No, he wouldn't, because his grandfather was still alive. He would have become Lord Alistair Windsor. Nothing more, but nothing less. Because his father was a prince of the United Kingdom, but just a prince at that time. And the rankings for a prince were Lord whatever, as if it were a ducal title. Yes, if Charles removes the title of prince, the rank of prince, I should say, as well as title, from anybody and doesn't replace it with something else, in theory and in practice, he then becomes Mr. Henry Windsor. Everybody has a title, even if it's just Miss or Mr. But it's never been done, and I'm not going to hold my breath in anticipation of it being done in my lifetime, at least not while this king is on the throne. And I understand all the reasons why. Come on, says. I love some of these names. Lady C, I am beginning to suspect that these separation divorce rumors are all a propaganda hoax. Where are the pictures or proof of living separate lives? I suspect this is all part of a way of transitioning us into their new solo brands to be soon announced. They'll walk on stage as happily ever after a couple and TADA instant superheroes. I don't know what TADA means. I'm sorry, I'm not very good on acronyms. Well, I have said all along, I don't rely one iota on any information emanating from Harry and Meghan's quarter, which is why I have been skeptical all along as to the veracity of the rumors that that a separation is even nearly imminent, much less imminent. That doesn't mean that the marriage isn't rocky. That I more believe. All Meghan's relationships, all have been rocky. Her relationship with Trevor was fraught with the most terrible rows. He thought it was passion. She knew what it was. He got the message when she sent back the engagement and wedding rings in an envelope. He finally realized that empty vessels make the most noise, and what he had thought was passion was nothing but empty drama. But yes, it could all be a propaganda hoax. Meghan and Harry, but Meghan especially, is a brilliant strategic propagandist. And she is not hampered by considerations of truth or responsibility, or even the effect that her stories are going to have upon people. Harry's much better either. Look at how they threw the British nation, the British royal family, under the bus at the time of Prince Philip's demise in that Oprah interview. They didn't care that Prince Philip was dying, and they knew Prince Philip was dying. They didn't care that the Queen was dying, and they had to have known the Queen was dying. They didn't care that they were going to be creating mischief racially by making claims about racist comments that never took place, I am assured. But everything is for attention. And that, in a funny sort of way, is what is so predictable, boring, but ultimately transfixing about them. Because it's reached the stage where people do think this train cannot continue hurtling down those tracks at this speed very much longer. Something's gonna have to give, and let's wait and see, because we want them to get their comeuppance. It's a natural human phenomenon. It's a natural human instinct. It's based in justice, not in injustice, but in justice. We like to see people get their just deserts, especially when they're so malicious as to write nasty letters to daddy and get a paid mercenary in the form of a communications secretary at Buckingham Palace to help them to do it. Supremely distasteful. And on that note, I will say thank you very much for listening. I hope this has been of some interest to you. If it has, please remember to keep the questions and comments coming in so I can know what you want us to speak about. Okay? Thank you. God bless. And if you have really enjoyed this, please like, share, subscribe, press the notification bell, and Godspeed.